VerityHearts, it's Vera. Now, in this series, I'm taking you through the 5 dynamical deeds that you need to complete in order to create the life of your dreams. Last time we looked at dynamical deed number 1, which was destination. So if you missed it, I recommend that you go back and watch that video before coming back to this one. Today, we're going to look at dynamical deed number 2, and that is deadline. Once you've determined what you want, which is also known as your destination, you need to set a date by when you want to get there. Without a deadline, your dream life will remain just that, a dream. You need a deadline to turn that dream into reality. And what's also important is to set some milestones that you expect to achieve on your way to that deadline. Together, that deadline and the milestones, well, they create a roadmap to get you from where you are today to having created that life that you'd love to be living. So now that you've created that vision for your life, also known as your destination, the next step is to map out a couple of key milestones with that deadline. These are the places you expect to be at certain points in time as you move towards that goal. So for example, if you have clearly defined the vision for your life that you'd love to be living, and say that's 3 years from now, call that your goal, you might set your initial milestones for the 12-month, 6-month, 3-month, and 1-month marks, so you can stay focused, motivated, and on track. Milestones help break up that big, audacious goal into manageable chunks and can keep you from feeling so overwhelmed by the gap between where you are today and where you want to be 3 years from now that you don't even bother starting. You can think of milestones as mini goals. However, unlike that final deadline, milestones aren't necessarily set in stone. The point of milestones is to have checkpoints against which you can assess your progress and course correct if you need to ensure that you stay on track towards achieving your goal. Now, when you embark on a significant journey of change, you don't know, and you cannot know every single step that you'll need to take in order to get to that destination. When starting out, it's important to remember that when you set those milestones, you'll be basing your expectations on a certain set of assumptions, which themselves are based on your knowledge at that particular point in time. Now, as you progress and learn more, you'll probably discover that some of your assumptions weren't correct, and you may not be where you thought you would be at that point in time. You might find that you achieve your milestones earlier than you thought you would, or you might find that you haven't gotten as far as you thought you would be at that time. And that's okay. You'll just reset that next set of milestones using what you now know. Look, there are 2 things you need to remember. Number 1, taking action without a clear destination and a time frame will simply keep you busy, but it won't necessarily get you anywhere. And number 2, not having any milestones to guide you along the way will either stop you from starting in the first place, or you'll see yourself getting off track and missing your destination. If you're serious about creating change in your life, you need to set a date and create a roadmap. The roadmap will give you that start point. It will give you that clearly defined destination and with a date by which you want to achieve it. And it'll give you that set of milestones to break up your journey into manageable pieces that will keep you on track. And finally, just to close off dynamical deed number 2, I encourage you to set a deadline that is 3 to 5 years from now. And why is that? Well, in the wise words of Bill Gates, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So that 3 to 5 year period is that sweet spot. Okay, now this series will continue over the next 3 publications, and where I'll be going through the remaining dynamical deeds. I'll be going through them in more detail and exploring some of the practical ways that you can apply these to your life. Now, in the meantime, if you want to get a head start on designing, experiencing, and stepping into the life that you've only dreamed of up until now, then join me on one of my upcoming webinars where we'll work through these concepts and much, much more. You'll find a link to more information and to register either below the video or to the side of the video, depending on your device. And I hope to see you there. But if not, I will see you for the next dynamical deed.